What's up? This is How to Watch Free TV. I'm Aaron, your free TV expert. And if you've been on the internet at all in the last 2 weeks, you know that YouTube's made some pretty weird choices with the partner program. They raised the subscriptions for what you need to monetize as part of the partner program up to 1,000. So that hasn't changed. But the watch time that you're going to need to be approved is going to be at 8,000 hours, 8,000 watch hours by February 2027. And that decision caught a lot of people off guard. They were wondering, why are they doing this? What's happening? But then I read a new release from Tubi and it all kind of clicked into place. Let me get you guys some visual aids to see what we're talking about right here, right? So we've got YouTube's partner program, new stuff up right here. I'm gonna bring that up for you. Yeah, so it's 1,000 subscribers, 8,000 qualified public watch hours, and 20 million qualified shorts views in the last 90 days for you to be a partner from YouTube next year. Now, not completely insane, not absolutely, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening level stuff there, but a little bit higher than it was because right now it stands at about 4,000 watch hours. And then I read this release from Tubi that really put it into stark contrast. So Tubi put out a press release. I've linked it down here in the description. You can check it out for yourself. But basically, they've got a ton of young viewership on their platform for free TV. If you don't know what Tubi is, you stream movies and TV shows for free. I can't believe this app is free. If it ever costs anything, I'll kill myself, etc., right? So Tubi sends out this infographic and a press release accompanying it. 110 monthly active users over at Tubi and 2.3% of total TV viewing minutes in April 2026 accounted for on the platform, and a 17% increase in engagement year over year from last year's Q4, which means that the category is indeed growing. And they're touting the largest content collection at 375,000, movies, TV episodes, 25,000 episodes of creator content, and 400 Tubi originals. And by the way, those last two numbers are probably the most important thing when we're talking about Tubi growing as a platform. 25,000 episodes of creator content and 400 Tubi originals. Keep that in mind. So Tubi's managed to find a stable of creators that find their platform the place to go with an independent project now. It's not just YouTube. It's not just things like Nebula, although those places are awesome to go watch free TV. Canopy, which is operated through a lot of different library systems, amazing for it. But Tubi is a place to go because that's where the eyeballs are, right? And it's interesting because for the longest time, YouTube was the place you went when you wanted to see, a up and coming creator or one of your favorite video essayists or a funny talk show, game show, whatever that was a little bit too experimental to get like a deal or too small to get a deal on a traditional broadcast network. So they bring themselves over to YouTube to like kind of do a proof of concept. Look no further than like Cheyenne the Geeks, the Comic Shop, which is excellent on YouTube. It's an awesome sitcom. It's streaming for free here on the on this platform. You should go check that out. It's absolutely great. Do you like things like The Office or like Abbott Elementary? You're gonna enjoy the Comic Shop. Anyway, if things were to happen now, there would be a situation, even though she's had this happen, where she'd take a meeting somewhere and they'd be like, well, we don't want to give you like that much money without stipulations. Tubi is a place where for some of these creators, especially ones that just want that level of scale and distribution and actual marketing budget behind their stuff that they don't have to do themselves, will come along and be like, hey, why don't you take your thing off of YouTube and put it onto Tubi? And possibly maybe we'll give you some money for it. You've seen a bunch of different creators go this route over the last, let's say like 8 months to maybe 24 months. And it's worked out pretty well for those creators, right? You still get to have all your content up on the YouTube platform because there's nothing saying that you can't double dip, and you get whatever you're going to get from Tubi, be it money, be it support, be it whatever. And that's worked out pretty swimmingly. But YouTube put these sorts of constraints on to keep their biggest creators in the fold. There's a big, big piece from the Ankler, which I'll put down in the description for you as well, talking about how YouTube's brass, and there's like, their own blog talking about trying to make sure that big creators are compensated and that certain YouTube creators are compensated for what value they're bringing to the platform, right? So that all sort of works together. As free TV as a category grows and becomes a bigger force in the market, you're going to see YouTube be like, well, we're the original free TV destination, so why don't we try and keep all these people in house? We should absolutely be trying to do our best to keep folks engaged and here on the platform. We can't do that by having the biggest creators associated with YouTube running over to Netflix, running over to Tubi, running over to, I don't even know, TikTok or whatever for a bigger payday. Why don't we just redirect some of the funds from the lower channels over to them to get them to stay, right? And if some of you that actually can get monetized can scare up the user hours to kind of make this thing happen, then great, right? It's a everybody wins. But we all know that some of us might not make it. I might not make it. Who knows? You know what I mean? We're growing here at How to Watch Free TV, but there's nothing really assured. But it really was fascinating, the timing between this announcement of this is how all of this works now versus to be going, hey man, we've had 70% growth year over year. We've had all of these eyeballs and everything. And let's not forget, it's probably one of the only streamers that's growing with a younger audience because all their favorite creators over here at Tubi as well. It just was really fascinating. It's a really interesting sort of dichotomy where everybody is so tired of paying for subscription services that these kinds of free offerings are going to end up being more and more crucial for different entities. You got that report from a couple months ago, or actually, no, it was a couple weeks ago now, where Disney's thinking about making a free TV option. You've got Fandango throwing their hat in the ring. You got Google announcing, which funny enough kind of owns YouTube too, their other free TV service outside of YouTube to kind of be in this space and be a realistic contender. And now here's YouTube reasserting that no, we're going to be in here too with, yeah. And if you'll see this roll out with some of your favorite creators as the, month and a half, next 2 months goes along, they've added a series tab in certain creators' YouTube channels, and this will roll out to most of the channels over time, I'm sure, where you can just plug into a channel, like a literal, channel that just plays that YouTuber or that poster or commenter's stuff all the way down, like a TV show, like an old TV network used to. And I thought that we'd get here, but I never thought that YouTube would be the place that facilitated such a change. And that's really interesting too. I mean, they really want this to be TV. You've seen other reports that more and more people are watching YouTube on television as opposed to watching on their phone or through a computer. I feel like only millennials watch things through computers anymore, unfortunately, to my chagrin. But yeah, more and more people using TVs means that they want this thing to work like television. You want to optimize this setup so that it looks great over air, so that it looks good for you watching at home on your giant television. You know what I mean? Even if you're just watching me kind of talk to you about this sort of stuff. Talk shows, game shows, skits, video essays, analysis. They all have a space on the big screen now that maybe they didn't enjoy beforehand. And that is another change that shows you their motivation to make YouTube the new TV, which I would say with the data that we have, absolutely. I'm pretty confident that YouTube and Tubi have basically become, along with like TikTok on your phone, the what supplements traditional broadcast television for a variety of viewers. And it's kind of hard to ignore that fact once you've seen all of this kind of happen. It's really, we're in like such a space of change. It's more than just the monetization numbers going up. It's an entire sea change of how content is given to a large populace. There'll be things that pop up, series, web series, movies, even daily TV shows, newscasts that will be born through this platform that simply were not possible a decade ago. And as those things spring up, YouTube is committed to keeping them here on the platform instead of running off and, like, I don't know, let's say you have like a newscast and then like Paramount comes through and is like, oh, we want to put on Paramount Plus or Pluto. They're not going to want you to go over there. Just keep it on YouTube. Keep all your AdSense here. Keep all that stuff in house. Um, it's just the numbers really spoke to me when I saw it all out there. And I'm like, well, there it is in black and white again. Because my friend Sammy from over Comfort Creator Collective, they run YouTube channels and give people advice and on thumbnails and script advice and whatever. A wonderful resource. They do great work over there. She made a video talking about this change, a couple of videos actually talking about this change about a week ago. And you really started to see the beads of what she was talking about when this Tuba news came out. There was that Ankler piece I mentioned earlier. There was another large piece in Variety or Vanity Fair about the YouTube executives really wanting people who invested a lot of time on this platform to remain as YouTube creators rather than running off for what we would call traditional media in any way, shape, or form. Not that, a lot of younger creators see a ton of benefit to that traditional media structure. I mean, it's not like you're going to get that many more viewers on Paramount Plus versus having it on a platform like YouTube or on Tubi that's for free. But the prestige and possibly the money is what would make you make that decision to make this big leap from one platform to another. There are some cautionary tales, of course, of these creators that used to be on one service or on a different platform that make the leap to a paid streamer that ends up kind of not going as great. I think a lot of the ringer content that we've had, if you watch like the Bill Simmons podcast or some of their stuff, it headed over to Netflix. And that has been kind of interesting because a lot of their audience is used to coming and finding, especially like after big sporting events and things, coming to YouTube and hearing the podcast or going to Spotify and hearing the podcast. And to have it on Netflix for a little while was very disorienting because people like their routines. They don't want things to change. So it's like, where's my stuff? Like, just give me my stuff the way it used to be and give it to me as easy as possible. And it doesn't get much easier than right here on YouTube because everybody uses it. Like, it's the easiest way. I'm joking, like it's eHow and my video essay channel and my white noise machine all at the same time. It's really that kind of one-stop shopping that kind of gives this place a leg up on some other things. But they're not dumb. They see Tubi coming up in that rearview mirror or in like the close view at this point and being like, we need to do as much as we can to maintain the spot that we've enjoyed over all this time. So look for these changes. If you see your favorite creators doing more long form videos, and I don't know if this would even qualify as a long form video, but it's longer than the videos I usually do, you probably know why, because everybody's scrambling trying to get in before that deadline hits. Um, all of us don't have a gajillion followers to rely on, which some people really worked super duper hard for, I would like to say, and serve different niches in different ways. I think that's one thing that, although Tubi is really good at TV and movie content, it will be interesting to see how they combat that because there's nothing like when you have a certain subsection or subculture here on the internet and you find the YouTube corner that gives you the advice you're looking for, or the Reddit thread that gives you the advice you're looking for to solve a specific problem. That's not something that's on those platforms yet. But anything's possible. I remember when TikTok was just for fun dances. So this is all kind of evolving as it goes along. It had been a couple of days since we gave you guys an update. There will be more update videos coming to the channel. I've seen a lot of the different news from different corners that has popped off in the last couple of days. And finally at home, done with con season, we can finally dig into some of those fun issues surrounding free TV and all of its portents. And if you like free TV, if you're a power user of a Tubi, a Pluto TV, a Roku channel, a Canopy, a Hoopla, a Google Free Play, a Samsung TV Plus, any of that stuff, we got you covered right here at How to Watch Free TV. It's at How to Watch Free TV. How to Watch Free.tv is our newsletter every week where we have 3 free picks to recommend stuff for you to watch on the weekend so you don't get decision paralysis. I'll go and sniff out fun, interesting, good stuff for you to watch on your own that you can enjoy from a variety of different platforms. We have different videos every week. We have these interviews. I have an interview coming up with one of the hosts from a Samsung TV Plus game show that I found to be really interesting. Heading into its second season of a almost 300 episode run, which just doesn't happen on normal television anymore. So it was fun to ask him about that, like talk about how those things are adapting, and to also joke around about free TV sort of is in like its game show era too. There's been a bunch of these shows greenlit ever since like Pop the Balloon became a thing and everybody got obsessed with Wordle. Now we just do game shows again. So be on the lookout for that. How to Watch Free TV. We have our merch here. We have all this stuff we've talked about in the description from the Tubi press release, Sammy's video, and I'll link some other information down there in the description if you want to know more about free TV. And onwards toward the future, friends. I've been Aaron Perrine. This is a free space. And remember, the best things on TV are absolutely free. Enjoy your free time. We'll catch you later.